Hey guys, Gibbleding here with
It's me,
Al
or Dala.
Dala, and we just got done watching Blue Beetle. Now, Blue Beetle, more like Blue Balls. I've been waiting to talk about this movie for so long. Now, Dala, I loved this movie.
Nice.
I love this movie. This,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's why I wanted to intro it. But,
No worries.
yeah, we just got done watching Blue Beetle. It was,
I want to say too, we saw it together. It was a great time. We held hands.
We held hands. No, honestly, we had we kind of went on a Thursday, no expectations. And the theater that we arrived at just happened to be it was in this little downtown Avenue Plaza, whatever. It was having a Hispanic culture celebration or a block party going on. And there was
The music was going
The
on.
music was going. It was loud as hell. It was dope. It was just there was hella culture there, and fucking Dala and I were just like, you know what? Let's go pick up some Mexican food. We're watching Blue Beetle. We're feeling cultured, celebrating our pride, our Hispanic pride. And so dude, it was dope as shit. It was just leading up to it, kind of didn't expect that to be there, but getting Mexican food, listening to a bunch of cumbia and stuff like that,
Snuck it in too.
Snuck in
some burritos.
Yep, pretty fucking dope.
Probably the best part, honestly. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, they were pretty
Kind
good.
of, it was very obviously
enhanced the
sneaking.
experience. If there is a 4D Blue Beetle, it's probably that. They just give you a burrito while you watch the movie.
George
or
Lopez
tacos.
sneaks in 20 minutes late, but he brings you a burrito. He's like, hey man, I got you this burrito, fool. Hey, cabezón.
¿Sabes qué? Try this.
Hey,
I got this. Yeah.
No.
It's shaking you. That's where the shakes
this
come
fool
from.
walks into the bottom of the theater. He's like, hey, Dala, where you at?
Yeah. You got your burrito right here.
They
Hey.
didn't find me. I got the burrito.
Sasuke then
Okay.
puts it on his crotch and does a dumb funny joke, and then the whole theater erupts in laughter.
Yeah.
That's
Classic
the whole
George
experience.
Lopez. So, I guess just thinking about this movie, talking about this movie, puts me in a good mood. It's really fun. It was a really fun movie. Dala, I
solid.
very solid. I've rambled enough. I guess I want to go through. I want to break down the story without spoilers. Kind of keep it spoiler free. And then kind of get into spoilers, and then maybe break down characters and
I would say do the spoilers at the end, and
of course.
I'm sure we try to talk about the characters and music and all that. If you want, I can give a quick plot synopsis.
Not too quick. I wanna.
Okay. Do you want to do scene by scene?
Yeah, let's do scene by scene. No, let's not gloss over anything though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Basically, it's Blue Beetle, or AKA Jaime Beetle, as they call him, is your average, typical college graduate Hispanic boy, and then basically he comes home from college with his family, to his family, who unfortunately have experienced some hardships, including his dad losing his job, or the shop actually,
I think both,
completely.
Right?
Yeah, they're getting foreclosed on their house, and then Jaime goes with his sister, his older sister, to go work.
Yeah,
I think she is, because she said she's not a college grad or whatever.
I can't tell. I'm sure you could look into it, but I don't think they really
Either way, it's
it's
similar age sister, because they both go to a work in a fancy smancy Susan Sarandon house.
Yeah, they end up getting what are they? They're
They're
house cleaners for the cords. The Susan
Yeah,
Sarandon's villainous Victoria Cord.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I didn't learn until like after the movie that she was the sister of Ted Cord, because I was like, who the fuck? Like, how's her relation? Mm-hmm. But so she's the sister. Ted Cord's missing or gone, dead, and then his daughter, what's her name?
Jenny Cord.
Jenny Cord. Yeah. She was also at the house. Oh, and also I want to add Susan Sarandon has fucking this like thug-looking guy, Carapax.
Yeah.
Who you can tell is gonna be like
the villain.
You know, going into the movie, I didn't really know much, but I knew he was like, is he gonna be like a fucking Red Beetle? Like,
yeah.
Which they kind of, it's different enough.
I want to get into that later too. Exactly. Yeah. About how different it is, but
yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like that's where the Blue Beetle family kind of cross paths with the villainous family. Is that, you know, Jaime and his sister end up working for you know, Victoria Cord,
the Cords.
And that's where Jaime, you know, meets Jenny Cord, Ted Cord's daughter. Ted Cord's missing or whatever, and that's when there's the whole like spark of interest and, you know, intertwined fates and whatnot, and that's
get the DMs
in the process. Fucking Blue Beetle or Jaime Reyes basically. He's looking for a job. He's looking for any way to like really support himself and his family. And so he straight up is like, hey, Jenny Cord, give me a job, please. Like, please let me have a job. And she's like, okay, fine. Meet me tomorrow at Cord Industries. And that's how the kind of chain of events, you know.
Yeah, basically ends up with the Beetle Scarab through that event.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just one of those, like, stories where you get the Beetle, you learn the powers. You know, he's kind of learning how to, like, accept it over time and kind of get, you know, how to work with the powers. I was going to say, his powers include basically, it's kind of like Green Lantern, where you can kind of make whatever from imagination. He, like, makes weapons out of his hands. He could fly. He can make jetpacks.
Constructs, basically.
It's like, it's like anything he can imagine. And he's blue. That's a big difference.
And he's blue, and it's a symbiote thing that I don't think the rings could talk to you, can you? Or can they?
I think some of them, because I know, not to get too, I guess, in the Green Lanterns, I think, like, in Earth 2, the Green Lantern there is actually the ring, and the guy is, like, a coward.
Yeah.
And the ring's, like, controls him.
Tells him, mocks him, and shit like that.
Yeah, that's a different world, but I don't know. It has sentience of some sort. It chooses. But anyways, that's getting beside the point. Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, Jaime's, like, learning his powers. I don't know if you want to take over from...
Yeah, the Cords, so originally, what was it? Okay. So I like that they, right off the bat, they include legacy heroes, that this straight up is the third Blue Beetle. The first Blue Beetle was, I think, a professor and an archaeologist that found the scarab. Dan Garrett. Mm-hmm. I don't know what time period.
Yeah, it's a pretty faithful, like, at least the depictions, as far as I could tell, for Dan and Ted Cord is pretty much 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the time period either, but yeah.
So yeah, Dan Garrett was the first Blue Beetle, and Ted Cord happened to be the I don't know if he was the owner of Cord Industries already, or if he was like the apprentice first, but he was Dan Garrett's.
I think it was. Sorry, I think there was the grandpa part. Wasn't that like a part of like why Susan Sarandon was mad? Because like Ted inherited it. I guess because the daughter inherited it.
Well, no. So
that's one thing I might have missed.
So I think that's gonna be different, but either way, I don't know if Ted Cord was Dan Garrett's apprentice before or after he got like the company, but basically, yeah, he's gifted the company instead of Susan Sarandon's character, even though Susan Sarandon's character did a lot more of the work. Yeah, so it's like, you know, she's a little like validated there and being pissed because it's like, yeah, she did all of this for the company, and now she's like she's jealous that her brother got it.
Money.
And so, what is it? Ted Cord goes missing. Susan Sarandon absorbs the company and starts using the Blue Beetle to make Omax.
which is like a one-man army
Machine.
compass.
Compass, yeah.
I think
Chicken.
Corpse, like
Corpse,
a dead
yeah.
body. Yeah, and what is it? So when Jaime gets the beetle and it, implants into his spine, so it's like in him. It goes in his culo, as George Lopez. Well, we'll talk more about the characters later.
Yeah, George Lopez says that that the beetle crawls up his asshole.
Yeah, and so what is it? I think they go to Cord to try to figure out how to get it out, right? Because they try to find Jenny, and then that's where they cross paths for the first time with Carapax.
That's right. Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Susan Sarandon sends it to. Because that's when they find out.
To go claim...
Yeah.
No, to go kill Jenny, I believe? Or to go capture Jenny? I think
they saw Jenny with Jaime, and so they were like, get them,
Yeah.
And so fights ensue. They get away. They find like a hiding spot. I think it's George Lopez, who's Rudy Reyes' uncle, Jaime, and then Jenny. They all hide at Ted Cord's old mansion, which is pretty cool, actually. Ted Cord's basically has a bat cave, beetle cave, I guess. I don't know, like beetle log. I don't know what you would like the equivalent is. And from there, they just kind of use that as a way to kind of learn about the scarab and try to get rid of it. Turns out, well, I don't want to spoil, I guess, but they learn some stuff there. And in the meantime, that's when Susan Sarandon sends Carapax and like their crew. Actually, no, they all fly above the house, which was like odd. I was like, okay, I don't know if you want to be that close to a battle, but they basically go to Jaime's family to basically find Jaime or kidnap the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, like how far we should get into. Should we like? Should that be the cutoff for spoil? Like more stuff ensues, or should we like go up until?
Yeah, I guess from here on out,
the second half is the best part, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I like all of it. I liked it a lot. But I think from here on out, maybe spoilers.
So, but, all right, if you have not seen Blue Beetle, go, and you want to see it, or you're curious, I would just say go.
Yeah. Do you recommend it?
Have your expectations like, yeah, I would recommend it. I mean, so. I will say, I think we talked after the movie. It's like it feels like if you got like your standard superhero movie, like Iron Man or Spider-Man, or like whatever your like most like generic superhero movie is, like standard, not generic, like which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
The bar.
But then you add like a Hispanic, it's like this is the template, and then you just add like the Hispanic component like to it. That's kind of how Shang-Chi or like Black Panther I felt. It's like this is the like Mexican one, I will say the first half is more so that component, but the second half is where it really gets fun. I would say go out, check it out. Go on a cheap Tuesday if anything.
I do think that it does carry that element into the second half too, but just in a different kind of like maybe thematic or culturally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's
it's
something we could get into in spoilers.
Yeah. So I think from here we'll give. So again, stop now. Go out.
Go watch it. Get a burrito.
Yeah. Yeah. Go in 4D so George Lopez can call you out.
Yeah. Yeah. He won't be there for the first 20 minutes, so he's gonna be late.
That's fine. Yeah. But yeah. So following the house is getting raided. That Jaime comes.
That scene made me, not like it made me like, oh my god, this is so intense, but it's something about that. It's just very sad. It's like the context of that, not just for what's really going on, but just for like Mexican families in general, or families that have crossed illegally. It's like that kind of silent moment where nothing's really happening, but then it's like, oh, suddenly they're raided by like ICE
like
or border patrol, and it's like it's super fucked. It's like almost a moment of like real, not like, oh, it's so realistic, but it's like, no, that shit actually like that's still a thing that
it's pretty
that
accurate.
happens. You know what I mean? And even earlier in the movie, there's a point where George Lopez is like, we can't fuck with the Cords, we can't associate with the Cords, like I don't have papers, like think about Nana, does she have papers, like we can't risk this, like I don't want to lose you guys, shit like that. And it's like there is still like a very real kind of like stakes to it, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, totally. Um, yeah, and so Jaime comes in, kicks ass. Family's trying to escape. Unfortunately, I'll get to like later, but unfortunately, his dad actually has a heart attack while they're escaping because I think a guard hits him in the like chest or something like while they're escaping.
Which is it's something
It's actually sad. Like
super
it got
sad.
me.
Really fucking sad. Like we'll get into characters a little later.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like they mentioned the dad has a heart condition like 20 minutes into the movie, and you're just like, oh, okay. Like, because the dad makes light of it, they move on. And then when this scene happened...
Yeah, it's like at the intro even, really.
Yeah.
It's just like something I forgot about, like, because it's just so early on compared to when this... And you're like, oh, that's right, you know. And it's funny because I can predict a lot of this movie, like, components of the movie, and that I knew someone was dying. I thought it was going to be the Nana, which...
That would have been the sister.
You know, yeah, I was like, but then it's like, oh, duh, the dad. They talked about him having a heart attack, like, so it's like that's.
But you
so,
forget,
but
it's
pretty
good.
It's like invested. Yeah.
Oh man, you know, it sucks too because. So Jaime gets detained by Carapax, who had just been upgraded by OMAC. You know, he doesn't have his full armor. Wait, no, he's not.
Like
He's not detained by Carapax. Armor. He's detained by like the harpoon.
Well, he is
on the
because
ship.
it's a harpoon that he. Oh, also, well, so Susan Sarandon tells him.
That's why the plane was so close.
It's the dumbest thing. Yeah, that's true. But it's like she didn't need to be in the plane, I guess. But basically, this is like the plane where like the side doors are open. They're sitting in
helicopter,
and it's so funny because she's like, helicopter. And so she's like, use the like crane or the whatever it is. And so it comes down in between them, and Carapax like pulls it down, and it's facing Susan Sarandon, and then turns it to face out. And I'm like, that's such shit design to like basically have to point this gun at your boss.
It's like the seats are around the sights of the gun. It's like terrible. But yeah,
he uses that to like incapacitate, and then they basically take Blue Beetle because they want to extract his
beetle,
the Blue Beetle from him, which you know I didn't want to spoil it earlier, but that would in a sense kill him.
Yeah,
because that's the only way to get rid of the beetle is to kill the host.
Yeah, and so it's actually pretty fucked up because Susan Sarandon and Carapax managed to kidnap Jaime, and then his dad dies. His dad dies once he's gone.
It's like simultaneous.
Well, yeah, but you know what
I guess like he's dying.
He's not there for it, and he gets knocked out.
Like, because Jaime's trying to get to the dad, and like while he's getting pulled away, and like he's not really fighting it either because he's like, I'm trying to go, getting pulled.
And then
so it's a really touching, like legit, like I teared up.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah. And then after that, it becomes it's some of one of my favorite characters comes out.
Half.
Oh my god, I just love the movie from start to finish. So
the
Nana comes out. Okay, so what happens? So the father dies, and basically, Jenny Cord shows up to the family as they're all grieving their house. You know, they're in front of their burnt down fucking house, and the Nana kind of pulls everyone together, and the mom pulls everyone together, and they're like, "Hey, we gotta be strong. We gotta fucking." The Nana says like a super hard ass line where it's like, "Now's not the time to cry. You know, we gotta be strong for everybody, and we gotta like go get Jaime back." That's basically it. They're like, "We gotta get Jaime back." And so they go back to the Blue Beetle cave.
Watchmen owls. Yeah. Flying machine, which is a reference to Blue Beetle.
Yeah, they go to the Blue Beetle cave, and they get all the equipment.
From Ted Cord. They equip themselves with like his equipment, which is pretty cool to see.
Which it's not like all like, oh, the Blue Beetle ring. It's like, no, it's like he's got like a energy fist, or like he's just kind of like an adventurer.
Which was a power glove too.
Yeah, which is a Nintendo power glove.
A lot of his like stuff I liked. It's like it was made like at home, like kind of janky.
Like, what
looking,
do I got?
Kind of janky itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, where and I think even someone I think Rudy says in the movie that like he's like the Ted Cord Beetle is like a knockoff Batman that's like cheaper but cooler or something or like nicer or something.
I don't know
I forgot
about
what the line was.
No, I think Jaime might have said he was a knockoff Batman, and then that's when Rudy's like,
Someone
Batman's a fascist, and he says something
Yeah.
like Blue Beetle was like the everyman's, basically.
That's what it was. Like everyman's Batman.
Yeah.
Or he like laughs or something.
Yeah, but he
Like,
laughs. He's
fun.
happy.
Yeah. Which is like, yeah, I could see that through just his equipment, like the personality of a character that's not even on screen, you know.
So a big turning point is once everyone gets the equipment. George Lopez, Uncle Rudy, he loves technology, and he's like a conspiracy theorist hacker who,
Yeah.
he's called Mexican Doc Brown in the movie, and I think that's fucking perfect.
Pretty, solid.
And you know, there's. I thought the cringiest parts of the movie were gonna be the Nana and George Lopez, but they were kind of the best parts. I'll get into it later.
Easily.
I guess the Nana I kind of have to get I have to explain right now.
Yeah, you're good.
But
yeah.
she goes from like the first half of the movie, she's this like funny, goofy, like I'm just here. I'm kind of like I don't
Just,
really know
like,
what's
whimsical.
happening. Like silly, almost like blasé.
Yeah.
And then once her fucking son dies, she reveals that she was a Mexican revolutionary. And she takes on this fucking she takes on like a Ted Cord a neon
minigun.
fucking minigun, which I think was made of Rubik's cubes. I don't know if you saw that.
It looked. I couldn't tell because there was like a bunch of
It was
junk
a bunch
put
of
together,
color,
but it great. Yeah, it was like neon blue and everything. And my favorite too is just when they're like planning like a heist, and she's like, you're gonna go like this and like this. Show me the tunnels.
Show me the plans. Show me the maps. Like
just
they're looking at a 3D.
Like she goes. Straight,
she was like
the Iron Man little
revolution. She must have been. Funny enough, I was looking into like what it could have been, because there's no way it could have been the Mexican Revolution, because she would have been 100 years old.
I mean, maybe.
But there's like the Mexican Dirty War and like the Mexican Zapatitas, I think, like 80s, 50s. So, but she even had
those are probably more accurate too, because she seemed like a guerrilla warfare type.
Yeah, she even had the fucking. She let her hair down and she had like the braids of the fucking the revolutionaries. I'm like, dude, that's so fucking cool.
She had them like ready to go. It was hella funny, just like whoop, and then full up machine gun. Yeah, she was definitely. I don't know. For me, she was like my favorite character. I think honestly, all Nanas are pretty badass. I think
always.
That's cool that it's like reflected in the movie. You know, that it's like. It's funny. It's just like so. I don't know. Like everyone I know, it's like the Nanas are very quiet and doing their own thing, or whatever. And then like when trouble's brewing, that's where you don't like fuck around.
And I realized too, no Tata. I'm like, yeah. Tata always goes first.
Damn, that's too fucking real.
It sucks, but it's like that's how it is with my Nana.
No, that's why it's like
and shit.
It's so weird that this movie is like a stereotype, but it's so accurate.
Look at what happened with Jaime. Like the dad always goes first.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll go more into the characters later. Sorry, it's just like can't wait to talk about it. Yeah, so using the Blue Beetle jet mobile flying thing, basically the owl man or whatever from Watchmen, Night Owl's thing. They fly over to Susan Sarandon's like freaking army base, like Nazi castle, like basically. Yeah, it was so like okay, it's a castle too, which is the weirdest part. But so they fly in, ready to go. They crash land, and then the cool thing is it converts to like a crawling like thing. So they just like take it. And then the funniest part is the first half of the movie, or like throughout the movie, Jaime's thing is like I don't kill. Mm-hmm. And then here's like Rudy like stomping on, like impaling people
with the legs,
not a shoot, and it's like
not even.
Where did he learn this? Like
not even impaling. It's up almost. Front. It's like
crushing them.
It's
there was like one guy that got like stepped in the middle of his chest.
I guess that's why. I
ridiculous.
guess I thought for some reason I was like impaling is like something sharp, but no, it's like this thing takes up like a fucking like a 2x2. It takes out your torso. It just takes a chunk out of your fucking torso.
You would be like a literal fucking donut or something.
I
don't know.
remember
It's-
seeing that, a literal
Yeah.
donut. I remember seeing that and being like, what the fuck? That's fucked up.
No, yeah. I think we turned. We were like, "What the hell?" I thought they don't. Well, like, where did Jaime learn to not kill? Because
Hey,
apparently they're like
Rudy's got a whole other.
Rudy and them. Yeah, they were all ready. They were like, "Fucking, we needed this," you know. Like fucking hell. But yeah, so they basically go through the base, and then so cut to Susan Sarandon with Gizmo from What We Do in the Shadows,
Yes.
who's also a Dela Cruz still.
Yeah.
Well, there's a big thing. So Susan Sarandon's like essentially like she's racist.
being
She does a lot of
racist. Yeah,
microaggressions. She calls him Sanchez, even though he corrects her like all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like Susan Sarandon's like a character.
Yeah.
It's probably purposeful too, but you don't care for her at all. Where Carapax actually, you can kind of get like the hint of there's some kind of like, you know, because he keeps telling Jaime like, oh, don't families like makes you weak, you know, and then by the end, like, yeah. But
we'll get into that.
So
really want to get into that.
Yeah. So what is it? So Jaime's up, like strapped up in the thing. You know, they're draining the Blue Beetle, and it's feeding into Carapax as well as like a bunch of OMAC systems.
They
in
got
the back.
like a hive thing.
Yeah, and prior to the start of that, what is it? Carapax has like a medallion that's like with him and his mom as like when he was a kid or something like that. And
His family.
So it's just like a hint to like his family.
And it's one of those like
yeah.
we're downloading the schematics from the Blue Beetle, and it looks like looks like they're not in. It looks like Jaime and the Beetle aren't in sync, so this is gonna be easy. And we just hope they don't get in sync, and we're at 80-90%, and at that,
And then they get in sync.
yeah.
They get Justin Timberlake. He pops in. Yeah, so essentially, Blue
Beetle.
He
Blue
breaks.
Beetle.
Yeah, Blue Beetle. He breaks out of the thing eventually as Carapax gets like the final power and turns into his final form. It's essentially he's essentially like a blue.
He's
like
a red
copy of. Yeah, he's like the Carnage to Venom, the Morbius to Jared Leto.
I do want to say though,
No.
right before that,
He's a bit different.
I guess
but-
the whole because since we're like in like not or in spoilers now,
spoilers. Yeah.
one of the heaviest, like most touching moments that leads to Jaime breaking out of the.
How could I forget?
Yeah.
He gets in sync with the Kaji Da,
How-
which is the name of the Scarab.
Yeah. Who's played by Becky G? Who?
Becky G.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a rapper, right?
Yeah.
Or artist. Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah, you want to talk about the dream sequence?
yeah,
The
well,
Black Panther sequence.
Black basically. I don't. Well, I guess it was like DC's version. Well, one of DC's versions of the afterlife, or like the brink of death, basically, where you could almost see into the afterlife because multiple characters. It happens to multiple characters in this movie, but at one point Jaime is near death because they want to take the beetle off of him, and he enters this state where I assume like Kajida is like keeping him alive too. But he's basically able to communicate with his father in this like ethereal dream realm where he's like surrounded by candles, which I also thought felt very like Hispanic and Latino culture and like the altar and stuff like that. And they just share this really touching moment where it sucks because Jaime basically realizes like, fuck, if I'm here and you're here and I'm up there and you're not up there, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, who's watching the tamales?
But he realizes his dad is dead, and they kind of have this last moment to like reconcile their lives together, and he. Not like his dad tells him his place in the universe, but he's just like, look, man, the universe sent this to you the universe wanted you to become the Blue Beetle. Like, this is what you were set out to do.
Because in the beginning, too, he says, like, our stories aren't written or some form of, like,
there's
we're
no
on our
destiny.
journeys.
I don't know what my destiny is.
Or, there is, but we don't know where it takes us or something.
Yeah.
So it's, like, cyclical in the way he brings it back up.
And very, very touching, very sad. get into that like a little bit later too. But it leads. Okay, this is something I really wanted to talk about, which, you know,
Okay.
this movie mirrors a lot of like other pre-existing movies that like sure have come out a while back. You know, like I guess specifically like Iron Man, Ant-Man, Spider-Man, and
Yeah, like an origin movie, kind
yeah,
of
where
like a
it's like
typical origin
yeah,
movie,
where
like a
like the bar,
but
like we had
with
talked
more.
about, like
Yeah.
the standard. Um, so you know, there's a lot of scenes and a lot of moments that remind me of other movies. But one thing that I think that Blue Beetle tried to do that I think Guardians of the Galaxy might have beat them to the punch, or at least Guardians of the Galaxy 3, um,
Mm-hmm.
which that and this one were like filming at the same time, so it's kind of hard to you know what was going on. But
Yeah, yeah. Just like what is it? Parallel thinking, kind of.
yeah, but the scene at the end is Jaime is strung up like the sketch of Man or whatever by Da Vinci, by Leonardo da
Mm-hmm.
Vinci. Like he's up in the brace and he's in the ring or whatever. And then when he transcends or when he achieves symbiosis, for a minute it's literally the creation of Adam, where where
Oh
Blue
yeah,
Beetle and Jaime,
Kajida.
yeah, where Kajida and
Yeah.
Jaime's fingers touch, and it's something that I couldn't help notice that I'm like, I wonder if that sequence, because it feels abrupt too, and I wonder if that
Yeah,
sequence
it's
like would have been a little longer if not Guardians had just like had done something different, you know?
it's like similar. Yeah.
Yeah, that was something that
Maybe, yeah, because I did. That was one thing I did notice too. I was like, oh, that's. It just felt kind of like
like
it's like
fast. It
a
ends
symbolism that
fast.
they had. Yeah, like the director was like, oh, I got a good idea, but I didn't think about leading in or out of it as much. So,
It seems
but
like
it's not bad. It's just like a
it
quick thing.
it was like, oh, I have this idea. I'll put it in there. Fuck, I gotta cut it out because
Damn. Yeah,
Guardians came
just
out.
trim it down, I
Yeah.
guess.
Uh,
Also, I was thinking, sorry,
no,
just
you're
a
good.
little tangent. If there's like I hope Deadpool 3 does a version, but it's like, I don't know, one Deadpool has like a finger out and the other one has like a circle and they do like the sex thing or like
Stupid.
some dumb,
Yeah.
handshake or something.
Um,
Just keep it going.
and that's what leads to Kajida and Jaime having like symbiosis, breaking out of the fucking wheel that they were locked in, but that also makes the download process go to 100% for Carapax, and now he's basically,
Hmm.
yeah, now he's like
Armored up.
a red Blue Beetle.
A reddish, bluish,
I'll say
purple beetle, I guess.
he's different enough.
Yeah, no, that's one thing
He's
I was like,
different
he's at
enough.
least different enough. He's technically an OMAC,
Mhm.
although he's technically also Carapax, because Carapax is a real character, but they just call it like an O.
They call him
the OMAC
OMAC.
thing was kind of an
Yeah,
interesting.
it's strange.
It's just an interesting add to the character that's already like.
They
Yeah.
they they did that
Yeah,
with
and
like
so from Mhm.
oh, I'm sorry to don't mean to cut you off.
no, you're
They
good.
did that with like someone in Thor: The Dark World, which I mean, who the fuck is gonna know?
Oh, probably.
But it's
Oh,
like
Curse, I
Curse.
think.
He's like two people. They like Marvel does that too.
Yeah, it's not uncommon.
Yeah.
It's just was. I know this one was just interesting to me, but it's like whatever. Like it's different enough, but essentially it's the same. But it's also it's another origin story, and I feel like origin stories are synonymous, especially nowadays, to have. Or the first movie, maybe not the origin, but particularly first movies. But yeah, so they break out, and this starts causing the Nazi castle, to kind of start breaking down and collapsing. And so the family's like scrambling to try to save Jaime while Jaime is trying to get out. But I think his his batteries needed recharge, and Carapax is kind of just roaming around like the Juggernaut or like
Yeah,
a berserker
yeah.
from Gears of War, just slaying people. Gizmo from What We Do in the Shadows does like a heel turn and
Fucking
sacrifices
himself. God damn, did not expect
yeah.
that.
I was like, yeah, I wish there was a little bit more of him,
Yeah, that's.
but not bad.
I agree.
He's maybe like some deleted scenes or something. I mean, to be fair, there's the cast is pretty tight, and I feel like it was the necessary amount of people, but still, yeah. But yeah, and so I mean, there's like a bunch of like interactions. What's like this? Oh, the sister and Jenny Cord are trying, like they're teamed up,
Hmm.
and at one point they get split up because some rubble falls. And then Nana goes and I think
saves
on
Jaime
her
from
own,
getting
or she's-
killed.
Yeah, she saves Jaime, and then they go back. Like it's like kind of like all just a bunch of people scattered saving each other. They have to go. Jaime goes back to get his sister because, or no, yeah, he goes to get Jenny and his sister, not knowing they got split up. So when he finds his sister,
He realized he has to go get another.
back a third time. Yeah,
And I think
that's when
in
I
the
think
middle of it, they think Rudy dies, but then Rudy comes back
Oh, yeah.
up.
Yeah.
That's
that was one thing I was kind of like. There was a lot of
whatever.
like misdirect. I mean, it's fine because he thought like Rudy died and he thought like Jenny died for It's like okay, fair. The whole family's there.
Yeah.
Basically, like everyone gets out, and Beetle's fighting. I think Jen is with Susan Sarandon in their titular helicopter.
Yeah.
And then was it Carapax is fighting Jaime, and they start fighting. There's like the Buster Sword. At some point, there's the Fifth Element gun.
Yeah, Jaime
There's probably a few other
imagines
references.
all of this sick ass shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
They fight.
another thing which I
Go
wish they would have expanded a little more, like maybe not changed it a little bit, but at one point when they're gearing up to go save Jaime, Jenny grabs a pack of gum that's like exploding bubble gum or expanding bubble gum.
I forgot about that. It's like something her dad made for her.
Yeah, and I'm like
when she was a little.
okay. I'm like, all right, okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's cool. That was something where I was like, okay, that kind of threw me off a little bit, like the whole bubble gum, but whatever.
It's like it's fine because they did show it off and they did hint that it's like, oh, it's like the MacGuffin, but you don't know what it does until later. Like I've seen that plenty in movies.
Yeah, and she also uses that to crash the ship. That's the
helicopter. The
helicopter
yeah.
she's
It's
in,
the
yeah.
titular helicopter.
The plane.
I think the one thing that threw me off is that it wasn't blue.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing that threw me off
right.
is pink.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
It's like everything is blue. His house is blue, and everything is blue for me.
It should have
and
been the
you.
blue bubble.
It's like
They could have called it Blue Bubble.
it's so weird. Also thinking about it, I'm like, I'm surprised they didn't play "I'm Blue Da Ba Dee." I mean, I know it's not like a Hispanic song, but just I don't know. I mean, probably better for not doing it, but still, my child in me.
I don't
wants
know
that.
any fucking Mexican dude that likes, or any fucking any Latino that likes that song.
They do a Spanish. I'm azul. Da ba dee da ba.
Yeah. What is it? Yeah, the family goes back to save Jaime. At one point, Jaime's mom, Jaime's waiting for the beetle to recharge, and she's like, hey, or Jaime's mom's like, hey, come here. And she starts not yelling, but she starts talking to the beetle
Sternly,
in Spanish. She's like, look, you better take care of my son, and you better fucking get him back on time, and make sure he wears his socks, and fucking make sure he doesn't get cold, and fucking
puts the checks for the thorns in his nopales and all this.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I forgot to mention earlier is the Kaji Da can speak to Jaime in his mind. And I thought it was pretty cool. After his mom gives that pep talk, she starts speaking Spanish to him.
Yeah,
to Jaime.
I think it's once they achieve symbiosis.
Yeah, well, isn't that around the time the mom is like, "Go kick their asses," and then they're she's like, they're like, "They're culos," and he's like, "Yeah." I thought it was around that. It's around that time for sure.
I don't know if it's specifically because of his mom speaking to him, but I feel like just because of the symbiosis, they might have been like, okay, now she speaks Spanish, now they're in one, and he's
I thought it was the way I read it is that speech kind of put the symbiosis in process for them to okay, now I know Spanish and we're working together, and Jaime is accepting of around that time he's accepting of the beetle power. Well, when his dad gave that pep talk.
True.
A lot of pep talks.
A lot of pep talks.
That's
not bad. I kept saying that household. Too. Yeah, I kept in my notes. I'm like, a lot of pep talks. Not bad though.
Yeah. It's basically it's a fight between Carapax and Jaime. Jaime is refusing to kill. Carapax is this is your weakness, this is your family. Rudy throws a coconut or something at Carapax, and then that's when he thinks he dies. The plane comes down because of Jenny Cord, and at some point, Jaime is so upset because I feel what upsets him. I'm trying to remember because he's about to kill Carapax, but Kajida actually is like, no, we don't
so
kill.
it was okay. So
What?
this moment I thought was really fucking sick. What was it? In the first fight between Carapax and Blue Beetle, like right when he attacked him and Jenny, Blue
Like
Beetle.
their first meeting, you're saying,
Their
right?
first battle, Blue Beetle,
Okay.
or Kajida was on autopilot, or Kajida was like, "We're gonna kill this guy.
Yeah.
We're going to kill
'Cause
Carapax."
Her mission is like protect hosts at all costs.
Yeah. And so
It's like reaction,
right when
defense mode more so.
yeah, right when he was gonna kill Carapax, like he rips off his like OMAC helmet or whatever. Jaime is the one who manages to hold back the Blue Beetle and being like, "Hey, if we don't kill, this is what we do." And then later in the battle, what's his face? Fucking Carapax knocks him out, and he's like, "You should have killed me when you had the chance." Flash forward to this battle, Jaime's going crazy because of everything Carapax had done. He thinks that he killed Rudy, and he starts beating the shit out of him. He rips his helmet off, and Jaime tells Carapax, he's like, "You should have killed me when you had the chance." I'm like, "Hey, that's pretty sick."
It's like good. Yeah, this movie is great with like the reflecting like stuff from the beginning, paying it off, kind of bringing it up again.
And right when Jaime is gonna deliver the killing blow, that's when Kajira steps in and is like, "Hey, like we're not killers. We don't do
kill.
this." Like
Yeah.
And then a crazy a crazy a very different ending, I guess, that I would have expected from like other superhero movies or other. You know.
It switches up from like your typical by this last half. I feel
is that what you were gonna say right now too?
Are you talking about the hero doing a heel, or the villain doing a heel turn because like the reason?
Yeah, like
because Kajida, when interfacing with, I was almost said it, or Carapax, she reveals to us as well that she's like, "Oh, I know his origin," which essentially, you kind of see it in reverse order, but basically, his whole life has been war. His mom, like the first earliest thing is this, him and his mom, and then they got like bombed, and that's when like he survived, and like that's where Susan Sarandon is like, "You're my new like OMAC now," and like adopted him.
Yeah,
and like he just knew war from then on.
Well, like the crazy thing is that it seems like it was not like all orchestrated by Victoria Cord.
Oh,
but it was like
just like coincidental.
Well, there was a bomb that destroyed.
It's a Cord Industry bomb.
Yeah, there was a Cord Industry bomb that destroyed Carapax's I guess killed Carapax's mom and like got. No, he wasn't. Does he have like mechanical limbs at that point, or like did he get his limbs blown up as a kid? That's later in the war.
So because it goes in reverse order. The first flashback I think is him stepping on a mine, or like maybe the second.
Oh,
so it's
that's
like,
right. That's right.
Because he was a kid, he was trained in like they shaved his head. He was crying. They taught him how to use a gun, and then he was fighting wars. And then he stepped on a bomb, and that's the other thing is Carapax is like missing parts of his body that are replaced with
cyborg components,
robots.
and
with different robots, not cybernetic limbs.
Very much a result of like years of just like Victoria Cord's fucking just all of her shit,
just not thinking, negligence, kind of just
not only that, because
not thinking of her consequences.
She adopted him, she recruited him, early on, so she's been.
I'd say.
She's been underneath he's been underneath her thumb like ever since he was a little kid.
But there's like a line, I forgot what the line is.
He wasn't
when
just
she
a
picks
random
him up when
soldier.
he's little. Well, when she gets him when he's little, there's like a line she says that makes me think that she's just like, "Oh, just put him in the pile with the other guys," and then maybe he just excelled out of all the kids and was like, "Okay, so now you're my."
Well, yeah,
like,
that's still
little minion.
That's just still the same thing. Where like his entire life and his entire suffering is a result of her.
But she sees it as like, I saved your life, I got you new limbs, but it's like really, it's like
there's also
she's just seeing these opportunities that she's taking advantage of, and
very manipulative. There's also like almost a weird, not like, I don't want to say sexual like tension or relationship, but like she really likes the metal.
weird.
She really likes the weapon part of him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No, it was weird. I wasn't sure for a while if they were gonna like fuck or like they were like mother daughter
yeah,
or
mother.
mother son. I don't know. Maybe he identifies, but yeah, no. So he basically he does like a heel turn because of Jaime, and is like, you were right. Family like makes you strong. Like it's not a hindrance, and that's when he like kind of sees. I think because of Kajida too, kind of showing his past.
It's like, why didn't
That
you
it's like,
kill me?
no, she's the real villain. And so as a Carapax, basically Carapax takes like self-destruct mode, and he takes Susan Sarandon and just kind of walks towards the Nazi castle, and then they fly off, the family.
Yeah, they walk into the he sets the system into like overdrive and basically detonates a nuclear bomb, but before that he walks himself and Susan Sarandon into just a giant burning fire, which is like,
that's great.
What the like, dude, that ending, I was like, what the fuck? Like, that is kind of crazy. Like, you don't.
It's cool because it's like she gets her comeuppance because everyone wants her dead, like probably dead because she's like a racist. But at the same time, Jaime isn't the one that does it, so it's like you get win-win in a way.
It's a win-win-win. It has its cakes and eats it too. Jaime doesn't kill.
You make two cakes.
Jaime doesn't kill. He has a moment where he's able to turn the other cheek and look a lot better. Carapax has a redemption, but also still dies because like you can't really do much with he's still a villain.
Yeah, I would say like I don't think he could carry another movie.
No.
To be and like I don't know, maybe, I mean he'd be a good guy at that point, I guess, but that's I don't know. I think there's enough with the family already.
Which, funny enough, once I saw them, like, because there's a point where Blue Beetle helps him up, and like they're standing next to each other, and I thought like, oh, like if they make a sequel, is he gonna be the Venom? Is he gonna be the like
anti-hero?
Yeah.
But no, I think that was a good like use of him, of Carapax. Do you want to take over the last little bit?
Yeah, so oh my god, that leads to, oh man, one of the heaviest moments in the films. Basically, Carapax does his sacrifice. They get Blue Beetle, or Jaime gets back on the ship. Everyone's safe. Everyone, kind of huddles around together. And that's when the Nana walks up to everybody and she goes, now we can cry. And everyone oh my god, everyone cries.
Tears.
Yeah.
Tears.
Oh, dude,
that's the 4D experience.
I even tear up thinking about it right now. But everyone huddles together and they start crying. And it's like, damn, even after this huge badass moment where all this crazy shit happens, it's like, yeah, there's that moment of like vulnerability where it's like, yeah, cry.
Now is the time to, it's like, it's a good message.
And it's like a big sigh of relief too at that point. You know what I mean? It feels like, yeah.
We've been through so much, like, all right.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so good. And then it picks up, I don't know how much time later, but it picks up with a funeral.
They didn't film much later,
Yeah. Picks up
with it's
because the house.
Well, they're coming home from the funeral. I think. I don't think we see the funeral, right? Or was there a clip? Was there like a short?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they're.
I don't remember.
Well, no.
I mean, if anything, there was like a short scene, but
no, it's they have the party at the funeral at the house. So I'm sure there was a funeral, but then they go to basically what we see is
then there's a party at the house. Them approaching.
And time kind of like, it's like you see everyone catch up and oh my god, so sad. So sad.
That's when Jenny Cord comes to the like house, and because like they're all like celebrating or like having a little like not celebrating, but like having a party for like the
fucking
what's the word?
The father had like these nopales, these cactus that he was very proud of, that the grandmother managed to save like right before he died. Like there's a scene where she like grabs some, and
she got like a little bit of it, and she's like, I'm gonna start over.
Yeah,
kind of like
at the end she's planning them.
Yeah. And then Jenny Cord shows up. and kind of is just like, hey, you know, I'm rich, so I'm gonna like get y'all a new house, and I bought you a new truck, Rudy. It's like, and he's like, oh, it's subtle, it's blue,
Yeah,
which is
nice.
pretty funny. Yeah, because he has like this big fat, like not fat, like big truck.
He's
like, classic,
he's
like,
the uncle, the Theo that loves cars and conspiracy theories. It's
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and then what is it? Just that's when Jaime Beetle and Jenny Cord kind of like they're flirting, you know. And I think did they kiss?
they finally
Yeah,
get their
they go for a
kiss.
kiss.
They
Right?
finally get their kiss, and one of my favorite Spanish pop songs plays at the end, and
Yeah.
they fly into the sky.
My favorite part was during the scene because Jaime is like, oh, like do you want to fly to your house or like to the mansion? And she's like, sure. So he's like flying like flat like you know Superman, and then she's on his back sitting like crisscross.
Yeah.
That's how they fly.
Nice.
That was my favorite part. But yeah, no, pretty damn good movie.
Yeah.
I will say it's like I'll probably honestly give it more of like a B for Beetle.
Yeah, two
Uh,
B's.
2 Bs. You know, oh, I thought you were gonna give it an A. Honestly, the way
Well,
because I feel like I don't
It's still, you
I
know.
don't hate it like at all.
Yeah, it can exceed.
But it's yeah, it is room for improvement,
Yeah.
and I do think I hope it gets a sequel. So and I do hope the sequel's like improvements.
Yeah.
Like it's a good solid first movie. Like I said, it's like it's like your baseline, and then like you add the Hispanic part, and then like you know there's like parts that are higher. Like the second half, I could see the first half being kind of a slog for maybe some people, but the second half is really, especially if you're Hispanic, I feel like you'll get that extra like bump. So if you're not Hispanic, I don't know, or like Latino, or even Mexican particularly, I should say, I don't know if you'll get that extra like, but I'm sure you'll still enjoy it. You know.
I feel like it carries it out throughout the film, honestly. Like especially with the first half, like it sets up a lot of the family and a lot of the themes that really pay off at the end.
Oh yeah.
Because you know, like there's a lot that really pay off.
Mhm.
It's a lot of payoffs.
So speaking of family, do you want to go into each character, do a little, just one by one, kind of a quick little thing?
Yeah.
I mean,
start with
my
Jaime.
thoughts.
Start with Solo Maridueña.
Yeah, Jaime Beetle. Pretty dang good.
Yeah, he was-
Solid. I don't know.
He was played by
Fun.
Zolo Maridueña. Pretty fucking good. Really really charming, really enthusiastic,
Funny
funny.
when he needs to be
He
serious.
what was it? Fuck, oh yeah, I like that during all of his fights. Like I know he's gonna get a lot of comparisons to Spider-Man, but like he was quipping or he was like joking, but it felt more of like he was actually having fun, and this actually felt like someone that was like having fun with their powers for the first time rather than like someone that's intentionally quipping or being like, "Hi, I guess you like, oh, looks like you're in the red zone, or you're gonna go blue beat down," or something. Like it wasn't any of that.
Yeah,
you know what
there's
I mean?
no like big quips like that. I think the quips were there one-liners? I don't
Not
think
even.
there was any.
I
Like,
guess quips is the wrong like.
well, I think quips is fine. I just think it like because the ones you were using like a blue beat down
Yeah,
is like I
it's
feel like that's like a punch or like a
Joke
a
punchline,
one-liner or
yeah,
something.
one-liners.
Yeah, there's not really that. But, yeah, no, solid, honestly. And then I liked that the suit was practical for a lot of it. You could see the rubbery crotch bend and fold every now and then, which was fun.
When he would sit down, there'd be like a weird rubber bend in the crotch, which I mean, I guess I appreciate.
Oh, it's solid.
awesome.
It reminds me think of like Batman '89 or like the old Power Rangers.
Or
Like it's like
the Guyver.
perfect. Yeah, it's like so good. Yeah, and the CGI for the suit too, like wasn't distracting at all. I didn't really notice like where the CGI started and the
Really?
practical
Yeah. No.
ended
Same.
points,
Same.
you know?
Same. I thought he really was.
I mean, obviously,
flying
it's like
in space.
he's not really shooting. Yeah, I was gonna say he's not really shooting blue fucking concussive blasts, but or maybe I don't know.
I will say.
What about Rudy?
But before that, I didn't like his.
Yeah.
Since Kajida is going to be the same. I felt like they needed more back and forth. There wasn't too much of a back and forth.
Yeah,
maybe
that's the
They wanted to avoid like Jarvis or like maybe they wanted to avoid
like Friday and Iron Man.
Yeah, that whole thing,
or Stark, or yes.
which I get.
But I think they could have done better because I think it would be beneficial if maybe there's some funny back and forth that's more conversation. Because I feel like the conversations in the Iron Man movies between Stark and Jarvis are always like one-liners back and forth, like, "Oh, do you think I'll make that dinner date? No. Okay, push it back," or something like it's like
it's not a one-liner,
just a joke.
but
But it's like a joke. It's not like they're talking in like a character so much.
Hey, I got this one-liner. Oh, what are you doing today? Zing!
Push it.
Nothing. I like these jokes.
But I think in like the second one, I'm just thinking it'd be kind of fun to have like a conversation where maybe she's like Kajida is like talking to Jaime and being like, also like, how's everything going with like Jenny, or kind of like a friend checking in, kind of like joking. Because I think they can do that.
In this, they just kind of achieved symbiosis, and then it was like, oh, then problem solved, and it's like cool. But I wish there was a little more of that.
Yeah.
Other than
what about
No, other than that, I think Jaime was pretty sick. Definitely best part, obviously.
Yeah. What about the best part? But what about Rude Reyes or Jorge Lopez?
George. Jesus, I thought he was gonna be cringy from the trailer, but he was pretty fucking funny. Definitely, like, oh my god, I have a Theo.
Comic relief,
big time. I have a Theo that's like, really like conspiracy theory. Fucking, he loves his Toyota fucking Tacoma. Like, I even know friends my age that are like down that path that are going to be the same guy that Rudy is.
They just don't have a niece or nephew yet. So they're just still not a Theo technically.
But he was, I mean, that's the thing. Like, the whole family felt realistic. Rudy was great. I loved, like, he was a conspiracy theorist, but like he had his reasons not to trust the government, especially when it came to like wanting to let Cord Industries into his house and stuff like that, because he says it at one point, like, straight up. He's just like, look, the government doesn't care about Mexicans, and it's like, damn, that's that's why that's like there's like bits of like real world truth in here that's like, it sucks, but it's true.
That's like he's the voice of that component.
And
it's like funny because it's like he's the crazy uncle, but then he's also not wrong too. It's like
and his
you get both the best of both worlds.
The running joke is his truck keeps getting fucked up.
Montana.
His truck keeps getting fucked up throughout the throughout the movie.
Oh yeah.
And there's a point. Oh my god, he gets one of the most like clever action sequences too. So when they have to break into Jenny Cord's or the Cord Industries to what are they doing? Why are they breaking in there?
They're breaking in to get the key to go to the house.
To go to the house, that's right, because it's the watch. It's in the watch. So they break in to get the key, but in order to break in, they have to bypass security and distract security. But it just so happened that Mexican Doc Brown, a.k.a. George Lopez...
Sorry, I just remember this.
That's why I wanted to be like, no, we can't glaze over these things. There's so many, good parts.
It's like probably one of the good jokes, too. But go on. Sorry.
It turns out that he has like a radio wave disrupting device or whatever that's able to...
What did you name it? Do you remember?
It's called El Chapulín, and it's red, yellow, and black.
Yeah, okay.
And...
oh god.
Basically, he turns on this like huge generator with like a fucking like a disc on it, and security, they're watching all these cams, and it's all the fucking live footage of the, it's all the security cams, and it starts to get broadcast with El Chapulín Colorado, which is a Spanish parody superhero where basically he makes things a lot worse. Like, he's like Mr. Bean, or he makes things worse than, than he fixes
like fucks
them.
everything up.
And
the best part of it is like one of the security guards is like, "No, mom is
like, no, mom is laughing his ass off."
Like laughing, pointing. It's like
so fucking funny,
damn.
So funny. Which is like also another thing too. Chapulín Colorado means either cherry cricket, Blue Beetle, cherry cricket, or red locust. So
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
that's true.
Very on brand.
Because his costume is a bug. Yeah,
his costume's a bug. He's red, So
like antennas. Yeah.
And so
cool.
There's a point where.
Oh, sorry. You just reminded me too. There's also a reference to Kronos by Guillermo del Toro, which is dope because there's a gold scarab in that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool little references here and there.
Spanish filmmaker too. And so there's a point where, they're actually escaping after they manage to get the key to the Cord laboratory, and George Lopez tells Jenny Cord to like pull the e-brake on his car and on the truck.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And basically George Lopez swings his truck around, causing the Chapulín in the back, the giant fucking generator, to swing off of the car and launch into the bad guy that is like currently getting the upper hand, like,
crushing
on Blue Beetle.
Yeah, with Jaime.
Really fucking clever like sequence of events.
Yeah. I think we turned to each other
like,
and
what
were
the
like,
fuck?
never saw that shit coming. I was like,
Yeah.
is he gonna like slam into him? Like, what is? And then it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. It's such a good one.
Any other George Lopez moments like that? Fucking no, he was good.
I mean, I don't want to give all of them away. Just he's solid, fun,
yeah.
very quippy, funny. Had some, there's one thing I did want to mention, and at first it was kind of like, oh, that's weird, but then I was like, oh no, actually I feel like it's pretty, like, relatable. Is there's a part where Jaime and George, it's after he finds out that Jaime has to basically die, and they had kind of like a short little conversation. It's like really short, like kind of like, hey, like, basically George Lopez is like, maybe you got this for a reason, and maybe, you're the one that kind of turns the tables. And it's like a really short thing, and I remember being kind of like, oh, this is kind of a weird, like, pep talk kind of in the middle and kind of short. But then I was like, as the movie was going a little bit later, I was like, you know what? It makes me think of, like, two machismo men, kind of like, that's like how they would have a heart-to-heart.
Oh,
that's like
yeah.
kind of like a short little, like we don't want to get too huggy and kissy or whatever, but we'll have like a short little like, I love you, man. Like, yeah.
Well, literally, that's how the conversation ends. If you remember, it's like not like if you remember, like he's like
if you've seen the movie, that
George Lopez does like and I guess I love you or something or whatever too.
Yeah,
like,
it's like a
This guy doesn't know how to communicate. You know what I mean? But
so it was like after that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like, because I think it felt weird to me because it was like, oh, another pep talk, but then it's like, okay, cool, it's short, which is nice, but then it's like, that's I've had conversations like that.
Yeah, he also there's like he does this like, I'm sure it's a little on the nose, but when he's like, oh, maybe it's about time we got our own superhero, and like he has this look of like genuine like care or pride like for Jaime, you know what I mean, like, or like long,
because around this time
almost.
too, around that time that's when we find out that George or Rudy is like a fan of
Blue
the
Beetle
Ted
fan.
Cord Beetle too, so it's like, oh, you're like my hero's like protege,
you're the new one
or whatever.
Characters. Nana.
That's Adriana Barraza.
Oh yeah,
She's great. I don't know. Like I said, she's badass. All Nanas. Honestly, I don't think we need to say much more. I mean, that's great.
I feel like we had to get into her character during that part, and
no, she's great. Honestly,
I want to
worth it for her alone.
Funny enough, dude, if they made like a new ongoing for Blue Beetle, and they were like, oh yeah, and his Nana was also like
a show.
Well, no, a comic or anything.
Okay. I was listening like how they're doing like the Penguin for the Batman. It's like the Nana, and it's just her
in the
like maybe the
80s
Revolutionaries.
or 50s, no, I want to see a comic like that. Nana Reyes.
I mean, honestly, that's what. So I bought the Blue Beetle like first run, like a trade of it, and I'm like waiting for it to come because I've heard that the family, like, there's a part in the comics where I guess the mom chews out Guy Gardner for like, and that being in like, if you're gonna be in this house, you're not gonna like, like do any fights, and like he's like, oh shit, and like while she's chewing out Jaime, So it's like it sounds like it's a beat for beat like good adaptation.
Nice.
Do you want to go jump to Jenny Cord? I mean, we might have said most of the things,
honestly, not to skip by them, but the sister and the mom were kind of the weakest points, unfortunately. Like, I really like...
And Jenny Cord. Well,
we'll get to her because she has more than the family, at least, but...
so the mom is played by Elpidia Carriel. She's Rocio. And the sister was Milagro. She's Belissa Escobedo.
Yeah.
Just wanted to give credit.
She, I like the
I think
relationship with the sister.
Yeah,
But
that's what I say. She has a little bit more.
Yeah,
but mom doesn't have as much, unfortunately.
Yeah, the mom doesn't do much. She has a nice pep talk here and there, but like other than that, she doesn't really do much.
And I think they had to build the father relationship so that way when he died, and I'm sure if there's a second one, the mom will be much more of a bigger player.
Yeah.
I will say, so just to jump back to like the second half where the family is going to save like the heist. I will say I was actually a little bit disappointed because I was so hyped when the Nana was giving the like plan. I was like, oh, so we're gonna see like a crazy ass heist kind of thing.
Yeah, true.
And it kind of, once they crash land, like that kind of doesn't, you see like the Nana, the sister a bit, Jenny Cord, and Ray, but then that's where the mom is gone, and you don't see George until like Rudy till like the end. So
they don't like kick ass. They just kind of like go through, and I guess the Nana kicks ass.
Maybe maybe there's like a Snyder cut of this movie. That way we can like see like more of the mom and stuff. Nice. Yeah, like same thing though with Milagro. She was good. The sister, there was like a relationship there. Like Jaime and her obviously care for each other, but then they kind of take a back seat for the good chunk of it. I think she gets like one punch in with the power glove, and that's like it really.
But the relationship is good. She just didn't do anything. But like I liked their back and forth. I thought it was cute. And then when she, oh my god, when she cried over her dad, that shit made me like even. Yeah. She was a great crier, if that makes sense. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. No one cries just like her. Yeah. Just like Belissa. To round out the family, you want to go over anything with Alberto, the father?
Jesus Christ, dude.
Alcazar?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I have friends who
went over a lot of it, but
I know friends whose dads are exactly like that, and so to see personality 100%, like either they were mechanics too, or they dress the fucking same, or they ignore their health.
It's their attitude. I do that scene. So in the intro, the family like reveals to Jaime, or not the intro, but the intro of like Jaime and the family. The family reveals to him that's like, oh, your dad had a heart attack, and then the dad like cuts to him. He's like, oh, I'm fine,
I'm fine.
smiling.
And he takes like a handful of pills or something.
I think it's like I've seen that. I've seen in real life that like what the hell.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Shit, it's the whole family.
Relatable.
Yeah. Sorry.
And no, Joe, you're good. And I was just saying like that's again. I'm very curious to hear like reviews from people that don't have the same cultural to see if it's like. I think they'll still like it. I just don't know if. Because again, it's like these are things I have seen in my life.
I think the whole general, I hope that the general just themes of family are just what's able to transcend everything, because that's what really is like the most touching part of the movie.
The key component.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I think it will be like even if you get only like 80% of it, it's still like a movie about family. So there's like 80% I'm sure that's relatable.
But yeah,
or probably even more.
The father, super strong, super. He was very much like everyone kind of wanted to be him. Everyone looked up to him. George Lopez was like, oh, he saved me from fucking being stuck in Mexico. Like he always took care of his family. Like it was a really strong character. And when you see him pass, it fucking hurts. And when you see Jaime interact with him, it fucking hurts again.
The feels. I did not expect to like cry at all in this movie of all movies.
Yeah, dude. Like he was very much an emotional crutch of the movie.
Like I knew for Guardians going in, like 3, that was gonna be the case. That one was bad, but this one I was like, oh, I mean, it wasn't as bad as Guardians, but it was like
it's like, oh, I'm crying 3 times.
Caught me surprise. Yeah, it's like what the fuck. Yeah, I'm crying blue tears. What the hell? Do you want to go Jenny Cord? And then we have the villains left after that.
Jenny Cord, man, I mean, I liked her agency and how she was like, oh, I don't want you to fuck up my dad's company and like, gentrify these neighborhoods and do all these things and, whatever.
Yeah.
I appreciate that she didn't offer it. Well, that's not what I appreciate, but she didn't offer anything new.
I appreciate it. She didn't offer any new shit. She's just generic girlfriend. No, she's like the love interest, but like a plus, like to me.
Yeah,
like love interest plus.
She didn't bring anything new to like she wasn't like an entirely new character, but she wasn't bad. She like pushed the plot along, but she just wasn't enough, unfortunately. Like I wanted to see her kick ass, you know?
Yeah.
She just didn't do much.
One thing I did like about, I mean, hey, she had the gum, dude. What the hell? You didn't like that scene with the pink gum?
That could have been cooler.
Yeah. I did like she had like a overarching arc of she doesn't have a family so much, and then slowly as the movie progresses, like at the end where they all hug, they like motion to her to like come join us, like, you know, hug with us, like even though like, she felt guilty.
Yeah, I did want to bring that up actually. She is aware of her wealth, and she's aware of like the class kind of like inequality
divide,
and she's very much like, oh, all the things that I have, all these things in this fucking house, they're all just things, they're all just items, you know, like it doesn't matter. Like she very much does long for an actual family, and that's why she's so like entangled with like the Reyes family. So I appreciate
with the Beetle
that,
family. Yeah, I think again, if there's a second movie, they can flesh her out a lot more. Like I think this is very much, and I hate to keep saying this, but it's like more so like the setup, and then the next movie has so much potential to be, you know, everything's in place. You know, we have the character introduced, all the characters introduced, and they can really expand. And like you have the ones that are really solid already, you know, so you can give a little more limelight to the mom, sister, like to the women essentially. So we have Victoria Cruz. Oh, sorry, Cord. Who's Victoria Cruz?
Played by...
that's actually someone.
Victoria Cruz. That's
Susan Sarandon.
Sarandon, aka Hillary Clinton. She looked like Hillary Clinton the entire movie, but
yeah, I heard that.
But you know what?
I didn't catch it until after.
Yeah, same. Okay, so usually I don't think she was the main villain. Straight up, she was the main villain. Yeah. Which I thought kind of not surprising, but usually I don't care about like if the main villain's gonna be a businessman or like whatever. Like for example, Iron Man 2. If you look at Iron Man 2,
I was literally thinking of fucking
Whiplash.
What's his name?
Sam Rockwell.
I was thinking of I was literally thinking of that. That's so funny.
And it's if you look at Iron Man 2, it's like Sam Rockwell's in it. He's like this tech mogul that's trying to take down Iron Man as well. But it's not really like well, I mean, Sam Rockwell is still amazing. But
it's like they're the character that's like schemer. They don't get their hands particularly dirty.
Yeah, they're like they're still in the back. You know, like
they're the linchpin of like the villainry, but like.
But for here,
though the opposite of Iron Man 2, she remains the main antagonist.
She's very much in the front. You know what I mean? Like yeah. So I appreciate that. You know. Yeah. She's a racist bitch. You know, you always want to see them get taken back, take them down. So.
Yeah, I will. One thing I did like is like looking at the cast too, because I wrote down like all the characters. I was like, I think she legit is probably the only white person in the whole movie, at least not like in the background, just like, you know, in the background. And it's just interesting because it's like she's the only white. Well, oh no, yeah, because even Jenny Cord's like Brazilian, I think, right, or something.
Yeah, she's Brazilian.
Like, yeah, so it's like, yeah, she's the only white woman, but she's treating all these other people like she's stepping on them. You know, like again with Gizmo, she was like calling him Sanchez, you know, or like Dr. Sanchez or whatever. You know, she was quick to fire Jaime and his sister when they were cleaning his house. I mean, to be fair, he stood up for Jenny, and then she fired him.
And then his sister said she took a stinky shit.
Yeah, which that one was, I was like, I don't know if you'd fire her, but I guess if you're in the mood, I don't know if you're a bitch.
It's like, I guess he'd fire someone for shitting, but I mean, she would do that.
That's why I said it felt like pretty accurate. So it's like, yeah. I think she was like a solid villain, but she's nothing I would probably like put on a list of 10 best movie villains.
Definitely not.
You know,
definitely not. But still, like solid.
She's like a step above Sam Rockwell. You know,
yeah. If it's that kind of like, even fucking
analogy,
or that kind of villain where it's like the businessman. Like she. Yeah. You know what? I would say she's the best like businessman villain. Like when you got like.
Probably what from comics.
Iron Man 3, the dude from Iron Man 3. Uh,
Oh, I don't even remember.
the
You got
real
freaking
Mandarin.
Maxwell Lord.
Yeah. Maxwell Lord.
Which that one was bad. Yeah, that was terrible.
Who's the other one? Who's the Sam Rockwell? You know, like those kind of businessman ones. She's up there. She's good.
I mean, there's a bunch. Yeah, I mean, it's not like a character that's got good pathos. She just literally wants to get rich, and like it's like fuck family or like I don't even remember what's her like. Yeah, she's like I just want to get rich essentially. Like it's not like I don't know Killmonger from Black Panther where
there's not
it's
a
like
greater purpose.
the ends justify the means kind of. It's like no, she just wants to get rich. So it's like you could probably still do a better one, but it's probably is the best for comics.
Something I wanted to say. Just before we forget,
Yeah, you're good.
Ted Kord. When they were at Ted Kord's mansion, they show a quick picture of a portrait. That's like it's a painting, and it's like it looks a little bit blurry. But I remember that there were rumors that Jason Sudeikis was cast as Ted Kord.
Ted Kord.
Jason Sudeikis being fucking Ted Lasso and from Horrible Bosses and Saturday Night Live.
I could see that too, because he'll probably be very quippy and jokey too, which I feel like is a Ted Kord thing.
So the painting, straight up, it was Jason Sudeikis. Those rumors came out. I don't know if he actually shot anything, but the rumors were that he was cast and that he was playing Ted Kord. And then a couple days ago, the director, I think Angel Manuel Soto, I think that's his name. He was doing like an interview talking about the sequel and stuff like that.
Oh,
Straight up, is like, if they get a sequel, straight up like, I want Jason Sudeikis as Blue Beetle. So that's most likely,
in the works.
Yeah.
Just hopefully this does well. I don't know. Again, go out and see this movie if you haven't, because I do want to see a sequel, and I think it could. I can see the trajectory going up
better
from here.
Yeah.
So it's and plus this might be the first DC or Gunniverse, whatever it's DCU movie.
I think the term is. Someone compared it to. Like, I think this works really well. The Daredevil Netflix show, where it's like, is that considered canon to the MCU? It's like it's a little floaty and it's a little in the air right now. Yeah, they'll probably take what they want to and not contradict it.
If they ever bring a Jaime Reyes, they'll probably get the same actor and all that.
Same costume.
Just to round out characters, let's go over Carapax, who's played Raul Trujillo.
Dude, okay. So,
what do you think?
Very much, I'd say he's... the movie still falls into the problem of like the Blue Beetle versus the Red Beetle. But I would say that I like this one the most out of all the evil versions of the good guy. You know what I mean? Like, I loved... Yeah, but Carapax, I think he does... He's like the best of the, of the copycat.
Copycat,
superhero, supervillain. Because, frankly... Okay.
He's got more character than most of them.
He does, and he's got like a different. I mean, it all wraps up in the end, but the motivation, I think the acting too. He was a great silent actor, very imposing and very stoic.
Mostly silent. Yeah. He gave glances and looks, and you kind of get the
you knew what
inference of what's going on, kind of.
And so, I liked that. Okay, so right off the bat, I liked that he looked like a small soldier.
Okay, so it's funny, is when he first, at least when he's his ultimate form, because it's got big old triangle shoulder pads and a big head and stuff like that. And I was and he's he had to go sideways through a door, and I was that's the stupidest looking fucking thing. It looks so generic. Yeah, I look him up. It's spot on. I think spot on recreation of the costume. So I was all right, that's fire.
I hate how generic it is, and I hate that I love it.
Yeah, no. When I saw it was accurate, I was all right. At least it's accurate. I don't know.
I hate that it looks
generic-ish, but
because I usually hate shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't like Ironmonger, but I know this is very much looks Ironmonger adjacent. But I like this.
Well, to me, I guess it's funny because the character looks like they're like a Warhammer side character, like maybe for
Yeah.
the humans or
Yeah.
something. You know, it's like they look like a like a not the small grunt, but like the big, like the elites from Halo, not the like little
Yeah.
guys. You know,
Yeah.
it's like generic like in that
Like
regard, but it's like
Gears
still
of
cool.
War
But it's just
esque something. Video
big
game.
bulky. Yeah,
But it works. I don't know why it works.
yeah.
I don't know why it works. It's
Yeah, and again, we mentioned earlier the mixture between Carapax and OMAC is like not too bad. It's just
it's
interesting.
interesting. It's I guess they saw room to do it, so they're like, why not?
Yeah, I guess that's where you get the like super, because she's like actually that's probably why, because there's a part where I think they think he's dead, like Susan Sarandon thinks he's dead, and she's like, or no, or something, and she's like, I don't give a shit, I can make more.
Yeah.
So that's probably where the OMAC part, it's like, okay, well, this one's Carapax, they're all OMAC, so yeah.
But yeah, he looks like a small soldier, like him, like regular Carapax, which I think his design, even as a civilian, is really not striking, but I think it's cool. You know, like he's got a cool jacket,
Yeah.
cool. I think the scar, like he's just visually striking on his own, and then once he becomes Carapax, like he looks pretty cool. I will say it is a generic design, but it's the fucking way it works.
Yeah. I think like his like big Carapax, I don't know what you would want to call it, big robot final form. It's cool, but it's kind of generic overall to me. Like when he's like regular clothes, or when he does his like first transformation. The last one probably is the best of them all, and that one's like pretty cool.
Yeah. First transformation was pretty cool. It's like he still has like normal clothes, and he's just got like a helmet, shoulder pads, arms, and shit.
It is interesting how they like evolve him over, and it's like each time you see him, he is like a different version. So it's like kind of cool. He progresses too.
I like that. Well, the other thing too that I think like is enough to set him apart from like, oh, he's just a carbon copy of the hero, is he's like weapons and armor and like almost, well, they're both technology, but he's like weapons and very...
offensive, and Jaime is defensive.
Well, no, Jaime is like organic bio, like in terms of the actual suits and the way they look. And
it's like
what they create,
biomechanical versus like
weaponry,
mechanical.
Yeah. Like there's a
industrial, I guess.
Yeah, I appreciate that there's at least that, you know, as opposed to like Iron Man, it's versus Ironmonger. They're two different fucking, you know, Ant-Man versus Yellow Jacket. They're two different dudes. Milo versus Morbius. They're two different guys in coats. You know, like
jeez. We should do like one day. We should do like a ranking of all of the copycats, like in movies, and just like from best to worst or something.
So I appreciate that. Even the way they transform is different. Both are body horror, and both are pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't mention is the first time Jaime transforms, he kind of it's kind of scary looking.
They drag it on,
but then after that, it's like
the family freaks out. They think he's possessed.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, it's solid. I'm trying to. I think it's all the characters. I mean, big ones at least.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to go into maybe like.
The movie ends. The after credits stuff. Well, I guess before we get into that though, Carapax, like we said, he fucking takes Susan Sarandon and walks her ass into the fire and explodes. You know, I think there's that moment where he even recognizes once Jaime like saves him. He's like, there's that moment of like, damn dude, you're like better than I am. You're like fuck, you know. And he tells him to take care of his family. And yeah, dude, honestly, pretty. I think that's also why it kind of like is a step up from a couple other villains, you know, just because of that whole interaction at the end.
No, he does like a good. I mean, because a lot of those guys don't really do the heel turn, anyways. But even when they do, you know, it's like hit or miss. And this one was a pretty good hit one. And like I said, it's like, you know, it's good because it's like I feel like we got enough of him. He's not a character I necessarily want to see more of, particularly. Not that he was bad, but it's just they used him the most of, you know, they juiced his role and they got all the pulp out and all that, and before we jump into wrapping up, I guess there's a couple things I wanted to kind of go over. like get your thoughts and talk about my thoughts. One's positive, one's negative, I guess. I guess do you want positive first or negative? From me, at least.
Positive.
You
Let's
can
do
choose, flip a
positive
coin.
first.
Positive? Okay. Music. It's pretty damn good. It's very
very synthy.
Chicano. Synthy too. There's
Chicano synthy, 80s neon.
It's like like you got a lot of traditional songs. You got a lot of like, it's a good mix, and like I don't know, it really fits the theme. It's fun. It's great music. I mean, like I didn't even notice any of the like original soundtrack, but I'm sure like that, which makes it a good soundtrack. I'm sure.
Funny
like,
enough,
composed for the movie.
My theory, I only noticed it once. But I don't know if it just got lost on me otherwise. But I think the main theme might have been like a
that's a main theme too, though.
A remix of Blue Monday by New Order, the one that goes like dun 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 dun.
Blue Beetle,
which is a song that they use in the marketing for Wonder Woman 1984. Funny enough.
Did they?
Yeah, but the fact that
the license for that didn't expire.
Yeah, right.
Like, fuck it, I guess it's got a blue guy.
It's got blue in it. But they used that for the theme during the movie. I don't know if they did it through the entirety, but it also reminded me of what is it? What's the movie with the person with the tumor in their head?
With the blue and their beetle.
The person with the tumor in their head.
The tumor in there. 50-50 or whatever.
No, the one that they turn backwards and they're like doing karate and fucking James Wan. Malignant.
Malignant. I was about to say it's the cancer.
Yeah, the way that Malignant or James Wan
what is it?
used "Where Is My Mind" as the main theme song for that movie. You know?
Okay, that's what I was like. Where are we going with this? Yeah. My favorite part was when Kaji Da like took over his mind and started doing backwards. With like a Buster Sword.
But
no, music was solid, sound was great. The negative, or it's like, I don't know, it's like something for improvement, I guess. I wouldn't even say it's like that bad. I feel like the action wasn't the best. To me, there's a lot of like turn taking.
There's a lot of like things happen.
Well, and it's just like I'm thinking of the two fights, particularly with Carapax and Blue Beetle. It's like Carapax will beat the shit out of Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle will get like defense mode and start beating the shit out of Carapax. And then Carapax, like they take turns, and it's happened kind of for both. Like they just, I don't know, a better fight choreographer or more emphasis into it would have been kind of cool. Especially with like the weapon integration of like.
God, it would have been.
You know, I think like.
It would have been cool to see him jump back. I noticed two. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, it's just I think I only noticed like 2 references to something, so it'd been kind of cool if it's like, here's the fucking Smash Bros hammer, and here's like.
But he can't stop. Like he can't. He's like, oh, I can't stop. Why
did I pick the gold one? I can't float with this. I'm falling.
Oh God! Hopefully,
but yeah,
so see, like if they make a sequel, hopefully there's like thrusters. All right, now Mega Buster. All right, now this. All right, now this. Like a quick, like I gotta fucking do it off
like
the cuff.
4 or something. Like not too many where it's like, I think a good like a scene maybe or so where he just does like first like Donkey Kong Fist and then whatever Zelda Sword and like whatever, because he is like very much into video games. Oh, you know what, the one actually I was surprised you didn't do is Scorpions Get Over Here, because that's WB as well, and there was a poster in the background.
For Mortal Kombat. Yep.
But and then like I said too with the heist, I think that action too it was good when they were in the big blue tank beetle thing. It's kind of cool. Like I was like, fuck yeah, like ready to go. Like I can't wait for this heist, like or any of the action. And you know, it's a lot of cutting back and forth and not so much. So that's just something I think again to work on for next movie.
Yeah.
What's the director's name again? I'm looking at you.
Angel Manuel Soto.
Take notes. There, take notes, Mr. Soto. Manuel del Soto. But yeah, that's just my last 2 bits. I mean, like I said, overall, great movie, pretty solid. I'd probably honestly buy it day one on Blu-ray, and
I definitely am.
It's got to be Blu-ray.
To it, yeah. I mean, I fucking
Blue Beetle and Blu-ray.
I bought a DC Multiverse figure Because I didn't realize I wanted one until I saw one at Target, but some motherfucker cut it
Oh,
open
the
and pulled the hands out.
oh damn. Oh shit. So is he missing stuff?
Well, no. When I went to Target the other day, and I didn't
Yeah.
even want a Blue Beetle figure, but I saw it,
Yeah.
and it was the DC Multiverse one, and I was like, ooh, I'll pick
Mhm.
this up. But then when I looked at it, I didn't realize that someone slashed it open and they ripped the hands off of the figure. So I'm just like, I'm not
Okay.
buying this, and then I ordered it.
Oh, so you didn't? Okay. Oh, dope. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, let's say like just go elsewhere, I guess. But yeah, I saw. I think I saw a photo of like the Carapax like figure, and I was like, damn, that's a pretty solid. Like, and it's kind of cool to be able to see a 3D model of it. You know,
I might even get it,
I mean,
dude.
hell,
It's
get
not
it.
too bad. Well, it's pretty big, but you know,
you can use them for any time you play Warhammer. Put 'em in the
Jesus,
back
I know.
if you ever start playing.
Um,
But yeah, so do you want to do the little what is it, the scene at the end of the credits, or the two scenes? If you want to give a little spoilers. Wow, wow.
the first scene is what is it? Oh shit, it's
Is that the one
Ant-Man.
with the computer?
It's Ted Cord's computer wakes up and he's like, "Oh my god, someone's used my computer. That means someone's been in my Ted cave." Can you
It's staticky.
Yeah, it's staticky. I need you to save me. I'm trapped. And basically Ted Cord's still alive.
Well, yeah. And one thing I've heard actually since is that some people are rumoring it's Booster Gold, which I'm like, ooh.
Yeah,
that'd be
well,
kinda cool.
I think they did announce a Booster Gold show for the James Gunn's
Oh, nice.
new stuff.
Like
so.
new verse. And that's one thing I was wondering too, because I was like, that's a character I feel like Gunn would for sure want to
Oh,
do
yeah.
at some point.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hey,
that'd be great. I mean,
Jason Sudeikis is most likely going to be Blue Beetle, so we'll see.
and Booster Gold, two characters at once, and they team
No,
up.
you know, within like Jason Sudeikis's age range, I feel like Sean William Scott would be a good
Oh.
Booster Gold.
Damn, yeah. All right, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, right.
Stifler, I'm gonna fuck your mom from the future.
Dude, yeah, I'm a hero. Whoa. Dude, you just took
I
a
stifled
syringe
your
to your
mom.
neck. That's awesome.
Dude, it's like, dude, where's my car? About Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. I said, be
Dude,
down
where's
with that.
Ted Cord?
Yeah. Where's the Beetle Mobile? You got a tattoo, dude?
What's mine say?
it say? It says
Blue.
Superman.
Oh, it's Superman.
The fuck? Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, see, man. Oh, talking about this movie, it always puts me in a
Yeah, it's
good mood. Fucking.
Well, real quick, what was the second? Was there a second?
Yeah, the second
end credit scene. What was
the second scene is it's the scene that George Lopez used to distract the security guards in Cord Industries.
Oh, yeah.
From
Yeah, okay.
Chapulín, Colorado. It's like a stop motion Play-Doh segment. Super funny.
Oh yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, last question is, just the one thing I was kind of wondering is, what do you want to see from a sequel? Like, what, I guess, plot or in general? I mean, we talked about like some characters potentially, so
Different. Okay, another superhero, which would be cool. I want to see another superhero. No, I want to see like just to acknowledge that the world is bigger, and maybe for him to bounce off of somebody, like maybe another like younger superhero or like established one.
yeah. It makes me think of Deadpool 2, where Cable gets like, or like now 3 with Wolverine.
Or even like maybe the other Blue Beetle, but I wouldn't want two blue superheroes. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Honestly, it'll probably be Ted Cord, I feel,
Or even like Green
or
Lantern.
like partway through.
Shit, maybe
Yeah,
Green
I mean,
Lantern.
Guy Gardner.
They could show each other how to be imaginative and stuff like that. Shit, Kyle Rayner. They could have Kyle Rayner be like somebody
Yeah.
from fucking
true.
like
Like family or
Las
something,
Palmas
even.
or something. Yeah, they're all related. Yeah, well,
no,
all
so
the
one thing in
Mexican
the
characters
comics,
will be related.
yeah, they're all related, all of them, all the ones I went from last episode.
They're all related.
even if they're Marvel or DC.
Yeah.
No, one thing I wanted to mention actually, because I looked into Blue Beetle's like retrospective since that episode, and he actually teams up with Guy Gardner. And actually, interesting enough, I guess there's some kind of I don't remember what it was, but there's some thing about the Scarab that causes the Green Lanterns to be like on caution, like alert, like, oh, there's something wrong with this guy.
Well,
So that's why when you say Green Lantern, I'm like, maybe they can have some kind of like,
actually,
like,
funny enough,
you know,
the actual director talked about how if he did want to do a sequel, he'd bring up the alien race that created the Blue Beetle, the Scarabs.
yeah,
which they were created as basically like planet destroyers. So maybe that's why the Green Lanterns are like, oh, we don't fuck with this guy.
I think that's yeah, because like I think when he's first introduced Jaime, it's like a very big mystery of like about the because it's like technically the first time we see him like that, even though it's been in canon or whatever, technically whatever. But yeah, and I think it's like an ancient thing, or like kind of like the Green Lanterns are like something fishy about that. I don't remember why we don't like them. So that's one thing I was thinking of for like a sequel.
That's what the
I mean, for me,
director's thinking too.
Yeah, I think the one I would kind of be interested in, especially if they go the rescue Ted Cord route, would honestly be kind of like change the genre to like a kind of like an adventure kind of to go find him.
Ooh,
I'm thinking something kind of like those like old serial like adventure, like Indiana Jones or something almost.
Yeah, and
like,
the temple,
instead of the MacGuffin, it's,
the temple, like Oh man, that'd be so great to see him in the forest, or to see him against like a
just like cross country or cross world and you know, then you find Blue Beetle at like 30 minutes, and then he's like the second hero that teams up with Jaime, and you know, they have to go rescue Jenny or something, or Jenny has like a second scare.
No, not again, please. Not again.
Yeah.
Shit, give her a scare. I was also thinking.
No, like, well, I was thinking she'd be like the Ted Cord replacement in this movie. Surprisingly, that she didn't like. Because I thought like there's that third suit holster, because there's like the Dan Garrett suit, then there's the blue or Ted Cord, and then there's like the empty one. So I was like, oh, is she gonna be
next
like,
time
take
baby.
It over kind of? Honestly, have her and him team up, and then at the end they get Ted Cord or something.
Actually,
I think that'd be better.
She needs she could,
and then they can kiss.
I could believe her, like that actress in a suit, or that actress also kicking ass and wanting to be a hero or something.
I think it'd be kind of cool actually, thinking about it, like as like you get the Blue Beetle with like his like shape shifting abilities, and then you get like the Ted Cord, but like with Jenny Cord, and she's like Batman,
the Phantom,
you know, kind of
fucking
oh god. She has like a garishly purple suit too with blue. Everything is blue.
Hey,
that's it.
Blue Beetle.
All right, bye.
Blue Beetle, more like blue balls, because I want more.
Oh, I was like, Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle, more like blue balls, because this movie left me wanting more. There you go.
Yes, that's how you get blue balls. But yeah, thanks again for chiming in, or checking us out, jumping in. Just go out right now if you still have not.
Go out right now. Go out right now. Yeah.
Drop your phone.
Drop your phone right now.
Run to the nearest theater.
Run.
Run now. But even if you've already heard it or seen the movie 2 or 3 times, go again right now.
No, no,